we are not afraid to speak about what needs to be done in this country. And for us, there's no taboo. We have serious policies for serious challenges that we are having in this country.
Hello friends and welcome to True North News. I'm Andrew Zettel and we're here filming in Etobicoke in Toronto at the People's Party of Canada rally. We've just heard Maxime Bernier, the new leader of this party, give his speech. We've got media here, we've got tons of supporters. Quite an energy in the room, I must say. And we're going to be talking to a few members of the party, some other YouTubers and some personalities, and we're going to be getting their reaction to some of the policies. Now, we've heard Maxime talk about his greatest hits, supply management and corporate welfare, but we've also heard about not giving any more money to the United Nations, about defunding the CBC, and we've heard a lot of reaction from the crowd. So let's talk to them right now. We're here with our good buddy Derek Harrison. He's from Rants Derek on YouTube. And Derek, just want to get your first impression. What did you think of the leader's speech?
It seemed to bring everybody together. There was quite a feeling in the room. It seemed to be packed quite a bit, and it's a really good feeling. There's a whole bunch of different people from all over Ontario at this rally, and it's a really good feel.
We are here with Leigh from Press for Truth. Check her out on YouTube. Leigh, your reaction to Maxime Bernier's speech tonight?
I think there was a great turnout, a lot of positivity and high energy. People here, Canadians, very concerned about our country, the direction it's going. I always agree with what Max says. I mean, you can't go wrong with what he's saying.
Well, I thought it was amazing. Obviously, Maxime is connecting to Canadians on a grassroots level, and he's saying a lot of the things that a lot of people are saying and thinking, and that's really the reason why he's got so much support in the early going.
We're here with Frank Vaughan. Check him out on YouTube. This is Andrew Zettel for True North News. Frank, I want to know, what did you think of Maxime Bernier's speech tonight?
I thought he nailed it. I thought he did a good job. He didn't seem overly nervous, and he hit the points that are really important for the party, because we do have a solid platform, and that's how we're going to sell this to Canadians.
You know, it's Max. It's who he is. He has had the same values, same principles for years, and I'm just really happy to see that finally now he can actually promote them.
What's the number one issue that he talked about tonight that really struck a chord with you?
The current immigration situation. He's the only candidate with a platform.
If there's one issue that you have to pick that you think the 2019 election will be fought on, what would that be?
Immigration.
If you had to pick the number one issue that's going to be talked about in the 2019 election, what do you think that is?
It could be immigration. It could. I don't think, to be honest, and I know this is a non-answer and I don't mean it that way, but I don't think there's going to be any one dominant issue. I think it's going to be a family of issues.
Is there a particular policy or idea that struck a chord with you tonight?
You know, when he mentioned the foreign aid, I didn't realize how much money we were spending, but it really is anywhere between $5 and $10 billion on an annual basis. This is money that's going towards climate change initiatives in Indonesia, building roads in other countries. I'll tell you, in my riding, we have a problem with our drinking water. So we're talking about money that could be going towards a riding in Simcoe Grey, where we need to improve the quality of our drinking water, but instead it's being sent overseas. I have no problem with helping people overseas, but our focus really should be on our country internally first, helping us out, and then looking externally once we are a strong nation. When we are a strong nation, we can then help other people. Having a weak nation, we can't really do much internationally.
I think corporate welfare is a big one. I don't think anybody's talking about that right now, because they don't realize how many billions of dollars in tax dollars is getting handed to these corporations who aren't providing economic value for that money. It's got to go. And when we bring that out, and that Trudeau and Scheer and the mainstream parties support the status quo, then that's something we're going to discuss. And I think immigration, I think the border issues that we have are going to be a big issue. I think there's a lot of big issues.
I'm not sure if it's necessarily a particular policy that's resonating with the people, but the people are fed up with not having their voice heard. And this is the first time that people feel a part of a grassroots movement where their voice can actually be heard. So I feel like that's the difference here, is that people actually feel involved instead of just sit down and we'll tell you what to vote for.
Tonight's rally seems to have the most mainstream media coverage. A lot of outfits out here tonight, and yet a lot of calls of fake news from the crowd.
I read the Toronto Sun last week.
Fake news!
Is there a bit of attention picking up? What's going on?
It's the same old story, right? You know, you got a lot of influence from the U.S. right now with the fake news, and I think people just like to scream it and yell it. And I think Max has done well with the mainstream media. I think his interviews, they've tried to stump him a little bit, but he's done well and promoted the party well. So it's good to see that they're paying attention now.
Look, if we're to be honest, I think the mainstream news outlets have given very slanted coverage of Maxime Bernier so far, especially the CBC.
The mainstream media, or the legacy media, however you want to call it, the only reason they're at events like this is to try and smear somebody, because we all know who the mainstream media works for.
But also I know that you are waiting for that. You are waiting for that. We can save money also by cutting the CBC budget. Yeah.
The CBC, they pander to Justin Trudeau. They're his flying monkeys, so to speak, I like to call them. And I don't think that they are truly a biased media. I think that what you're doing is absolutely important for Canadians. And you know what I do, any sort of independent journalist, anyone can be a citizen journalist. All you need is your cell phone these days. And you know, Canada depends on it, because there are outlets like CBC that are not unbiased, and we need a true, honest, independent media.
There's a real backlash, you know, from you know, your average Joe on the street as to how the media likes to spin things, and I think that you know, more independent outlets such as yourselves are doing a good job of really capturing what's happening on a grassroots level.
Tonight, a lot of focus was given to Andrew Scheer and Justin Trudeau and how they're interchangeable. Max called them both weak leaders.
Trudeau is a weak leader. But Scheer also. Scheer is a weak leader. And let's look at the facts.
Let's make Trudeau a drama teacher again.
What do you think it is about those two leaders that makes people view them, or people in this room at least, view them as weak?
Well, I think that they're two different personalities, but I think underneath they're pushing the same principles, same sort of platform, just sort of done differently a little bit. Trudeau's a big mouth, you know. He likes to say how it is and any sort of opinion. Andrew doesn't say anything. He just won't answer questions. He won't give us sort of why or how or what he's going to do. He's waiting more for polls to tell him. So I think, but underneath they sort of have the same goals. I don't see anything different, no change.
Do you agree with what Bernier said tonight, that Trudeau is a weak leader, but Scheer is also a weak leader?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think Trudeau's strength is in his last name and in the people around him.
What about Scheer? What makes Scheer a weak leader?
He's afraid to represent. He won't say anything unless it's poll tested and message tested until all meaning is lost. He's a week late to every party because he doesn't know what to say. And when he does say something, it's milquetoast. It's a word that died, that's coming back because of Andrew Scheer. He's afraid to put his foot wrong. And that you can't have leadership that isn't willing to lead.
Frank, you mentioned that you were a lifelong Conservative Party member, and a lot of people are talking about this party potentially splitting the Conservative vote. What do you have to say to that?
I hope we do. I actually hope we split the Conservative vote 95% us, 5% Conservative. I hope we split the Liberal vote 95-5 as well. And that should be what an appropriate split should be.
Now the Liberals are the new left. The Conservatives are moving to the center. And the People's Party of Canada, we are the only right.
If the CPC is going to be center, and the Liberals are now with policies moving so far left that they resemble the NDP, to me, there's no splitting involved here. But in truth, I hope we split it 95-5.
I've heard that Wow, many times. The split vote. The split happened a long time ago. The split happened after the leadership convention, so that's really not an issue for the Conservatives that followed him. We got people from the Liberal Party coming, NDP, Green, people that haven't voted. We've got a lot of millennials, a lot of first-time voters. So it's not just Conservatives coming over. It's a wider range of people.
The CPC likes to paint this as a split between the CPC and factions within. I've signed up Liberals and I've signed up ex-NDPers. When you have a choice between first, second, and third, going in the same direction, what difference does it make who wins? That's my opinion. I always get told that. The big risk is Trudeau gets reelected. If you reelect Scheer on so many things, or if you elect Scheer on so many things, they align perfectly.
Realistically speaking, what do you think are the chances of a People's Party of Canada government in 2019?
I think our chances are as good as any other party.
Is that right? As good as the Liberals?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think our chances are better than the Liberals. I think they're done. Yeah.
Still not a lot of polling data, though, on the People's Party.
I don't listen to the polls ever. Polling does not sway me either way. So.
I think Max will be surprisingly strong in southern Quebec where he is. He's strong in Alberta. I don't think people really understand how much strength he has there and how much strength he can potentially pick up.
I'm hoping for the best. Honestly, to be honest, I don't think it's going to be a majority government, which would probably be a problem. If word gets out and people start seeing the true colors of Andrew Scheer and Justin Trudeau and that illusion of choice, they'll soon discover that Maxime Bernier is honestly, he looks like, he might be the glimmer of hope that Canada needs right now. So
thank you for watching our coverage of the People's Party of Canada rally here in Etobicoke. I'm Andrew Zettel.
And I'm Daniel Tyree.
And from all of us here at True North News, stay informed, friends.